Is that me? Got him! So while you watch this quick fish montage, enjoy the rest of this video. Try to watch as much of it as you can. It really helps support our channel, and we really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Every view, like, comment, everything counts, and we appreciate all your support. These were just some bonus fish for the day. If you watch through towards the end of the video, it's a very informative video. It helps give you some good pointers on how to catch bass from Evan here. And towards the end, you'll see some real monsters come in the boat. So enjoy the rest of the video, and thank you for your support. All right, so you're saying you've been throwing speed worms at the grass?
Yeah, a lot of speed worms, Cincos,
Like a
little
wacky
bit
rig?
of wind today, something a little bit with a blade could work, like a chatterbait. Sometimes even a rattle trap out here. What you got is you got a lot of new eelgrass that's coming off these reed heads here, and all these isolated reed heads will hold a fish or two. They've been biting pretty good here lately. They'll be out here roaming around. They find the holes in the eelgrass.
They just kind of post up and wait to ambush stuff?
Yeah. Right now, that's what they're doing. They're chasing bait. Once these weather starts to cool down and stuff like it is, they'll come in here and they'll spawn in those holes too.
So for a speed worm, that'll work?
Yep.
And then do you rip the tail?
Don't rip the tail.
No, these where it's connected?
That one, yeah. Maybe that one. Yeah, you want kind of want that tail open. That's what gives you your vibration.
Yeah.
Find my rod.
Power poles are nice. What depth are we at here?
Should be about two and a half.
And the water temp's 78.1?
That's what it said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is about perfect.
And what do you do for your retrieve?
Nice and slow.
Just steady?
Yep.
Don't bounce it?
You can drag it if you want. I'll mix it back and forth and kind of letting it sink and just kind of slowly dragging on the bottom, or a nice slow retrieve. What you should feel it kind of wanting to get caught in that grass.
I'm feeling that.
It bumps off it.
I got to show you some of these lures my buddy made with Orchid Island tackle.
Yeah.
He makes these little, he calls them pudgy bugs. I feel like they'd work pretty good out here. So they got a little bit of everything out here on the lake, right? Pads, everything.
A little bit of dollar pads. They're hard to see. I mean, you can see them when you get close. Hard to see right now with the wind. But pads, eelgrass. Yeah, a little bit of hydrilla coming back in here. Every once in a while, you'll catch a strain of it.
Those spray boats are getting rid of a lot of that stuff though, right?
We don't want them to. But
that's what they're spraying pretty much.
Basically. Supposed to spray. You can see an island over there. It's kind of got thicker trees and stuff on it. That's what they're supposed to be spraying. It's supposed to be spraying the hyacinths that get mixed into. You can see a little bit in there.
Yeah, that's that stuff that'll bog your motor out when you go through it, right?
Yeah.
It'll burn your motor up.
But they're supposed to just be trying to take care and clear the waterways. So like these boat trails and stuff here.
That's their justification.
As long as they're in there, they're not a problem. Grass shrimp, bait fish will definitely get underneath that and live underneath it. So the bass kind of like it, especially when it's hot and it's sunny. Those bass will get underneath it and use it as a shade.
And that's when you're punching and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't catch anything at Headwaters the other day.
You see, you got these bigger reed heads here, and then off on the points here, it kind of get these little isolated stuff.
Yeah,
it's usually where I get bit.
got excited for a second.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Mike, Treasure Coast Fishing Chronicles, and I wanted to say thank you so much for all your support. We appreciate you watching our videos, and a great way to help us out is to watch this video through to the end, or at least as much of it as you can tolerate. It really helps our channel grow, and it kind of helps us work that algorithm a little bit better and kind of squeeze in a few extra views. And we're really trying to get monetized. We appreciate all your support, and thanks for watching our videos. Also, a quick shout out to Sponsor Buzz, for hooking us up with all the sweet gear I'm using today. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. I've been with you for a year now. The way Sponsor Buzz works is you put in a product request with them. They approve your product, whatever you want, as long as it's fishing, cars, or fitness, and you get approved up to 100%. You purchase the product. They send you the money in 3 days after you post your video with the product. And if you send them a picture of you, the product, and a fish, you get an additional $20. Who doesn't like to make a little extra cash fishing? Thanks for watching and enjoy the video.
Grass looks pretty healthy.
Yeah, this is all new, brand new strands of eelgrass, and it's nice.
You think they just oversprayed and killed all that off the last time?
Well, a lot of it had to do with high water too,
and the hurricane.
So this year they were able to drop the water really low enough where the sunlight was able to actually hit the bottom.
Yeah,
and you can just see. I mean, this is just
the water
beginning of this year. The stuff grows back really fast as long as they'll let it.
I mean, it feels like a pretty healthy grass bed on the bottom here.
Yeah, there's tons of it down there.
I bet on a sunny day you can kind of see a little deeper, huh?
You can see a little bit deeper. It's in patches, and you just kind of try to find the edge of that stuff, and that's usually where they sit. But you can see all the way from this outside edge here where we're headed to inside. You got all kinds of stuff. Depending on the wind direction, they'll move in and out. I've caught them. One day I've caught them in there. Sometimes they'll move all the way out here.
That was a good one.
There's one.
And that's how you do it, guys. A little 1 pounder.
Probably 2, but
it's a healthy looking
fish. Nice hook set straight through the nose. That's how you know you bit it right. And they fight nice white fish. So these are all new fish coming in.
Yeah. So how do you tell the difference between a new fish and an old one?
Usually they're like black. So if they sit in an area for a long time, or a lot of times those fish underneath those mats, if they live underneath there, they don't get a lot of sun.
They just blacken up.
That white belly on that fish means they're a lot active, and they're fish coming in from the lake. So that's what they've been looking like in here. There you go. And there's tons of them.
That's what's up. And this is fun on this rod because this is my trout rod.
Tons of them.
That's a little bigger.
There you go.
Oh, come back in the boat, buddy. I lose a lot of fish like this, by the way.
Don't be afraid to get down there and grab them.
So I've been bit by an alligator twice now. Both, one time was in Fellsmere and the second time was in saltwater. It's on a speedworm,
Good
guys.
chunk there.
La, 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 la. What?
Good chunk there.
Yeah.
I would take 5 of them quickly in a tournament anytime.
That was my last speedworm for my Yamamotos.
I like that Okeechobee.
You
I
what?
don't know what they call it. Usually that color I see is called like an Okeechobee crawl.
Yeah.
Kind of like that black, blue, green pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
I like that color.
Me too.
With the little bit of cloud cover stuff we had today, you want to probably stay with the darker colors, the black blues, June bug, stuff like that.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. I'm good. I can go home now. I got to fish. You do any crappie fishing?
Oh yeah.
Well, my buddy sent me a bunch of these. You can have them. Fort Pierce Baits, he makes them. They're crappie.
Okay.
I'll throw them in the box. You can have them when we're done.
Yeah, I'll definitely try those out. I'll start looking around for them. Kind of towards the end of November stuff.
Like as it starts to cool off a little bit more, right?
Yeah. So these first couple cold fronts, we'll definitely start getting them to do their thing, and they'll start moving in. They're a big fish that also moves in on moon phases, stuff like that. They like that colder water temperature though, so they stay out deep when it's warm.
So there's a pond in Fort Pierce I fish, and I get peacocks out of it pretty regular. But I've also got to weed through. There's a bunch of 3 and 4 pound bass I catch all the time to get to the peacocks. But the other last summer, me and my buddy were fishing. It was probably 90 degrees outside. The water temp had to be like 85, and we were pulling out 14, 15-inch crappies left and right.
You don't feel like those peacocks mess up the fishing in there at all?
I would be happy if there were all peacocks in that pond, buddy. I also pulled a 28-inch snook out of that pond.
They're definitely fun to catch from what I just understand about them. They're very like territorial.
Man, they are the hardest fighting freshwater fish I've ever caught in Florida.
They fight like a snapper.
And they have a really aggressive bite. I like getting them on my fly rod, because anything you catch on a fly rod feels like a monster.
Oh yeah. That's one thing I've never really done is fly fish.
When we get into the chatterbaits, you're gonna have to show me how to work those. I did get a 6-pounder in stick marsh on the chatterbait, but I think that's the only bass bait I've ever caught a bass on.
So it's a good big fish type of bite. You won't normally get as many bites on the chatterbait as you would like a stick bait, like a Cinco or a speed worm.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to catch a big one. So
Got him. That's a good one. Oh, he came off. That was a big fish.
You know, same thing I'm doing here. This flipping. You won't normally get as many bites doing this as like what you're doing.
But if you do, it's usually a bigger fish.
It's usually a better fish. But it just depends if they're set up in here or if they're just out here roaming around, which today, it being a little bit cooler, got a little bit of wind, it's pushing bait, it's getting things swimming. They might not be in these reed heads.
Right.
They might just be out there in the open.
I hit him right next to, is that hyacinth right there, that little patch?
Yeah, there's a little hyacinth patch there.
Yeah, that's what I hit him right next to. But I feel like my rod doesn't have enough backbone to get a good hook set on him.
Don't be afraid to set up on them.
I mean, no, this is just a really soft rod, so it doesn't give you that transfer of energy.
Yeah, these bait casters versus spinner rods definitely.
Oh no, I got spinning rods with a lot of backbone to them. This is my trout rod. My snook rods, I'd pull their face off.
I can tell you what flipping, I wouldn't flip with a spinning rod, that's for sure. But I've seen it.
Yeah, my flipping, what do I have? I got it on a spinning rod, but it's a bass spinning rod, so I got one of those halo rods. When I was rigging up last night though, I caught the ceiling fan and busted the top eye out. So when you're flipping, you just flip it right into the middle of the stuff and pull it through?
Yeah, I'm kind of working the points kind of looking at things that are a little bit different. Like you said, over here, you threw at this little hyson mat. That's just something a little bit different in that reed head. That's kind of the stuff they'll set up on. The trick to flipping is just a nice, easy entrance. You don't want to make as much commotion, noise as possible, as less as possible.
Like that.
Kind of like that.
It's kind of like glided in.
Yep.
It's like Olympic diving.
At the same time, you know, you're not really casting really or anything. It's up close, but you don't want to be too close on them.
At most, you want it to sound like a frog hitting the water?
Yeah. I mean, because what you're trying to do is you're just trying to hit them right on the head, so it's not something they'll come and chase or necessarily react to.
I think it was a little excessive on my set. Do you have to let them take it a little bit, or they usually...
With the speed worm, I usually let them take it because they'll sit there and tap it, and what they'll do is they'll bite the tail, and then they'll come almost like a shiner.
They'll bite it and then they'll suck it in the rest of the way? Mm-hmm. I think that's what just happened.
So when I get bit, I'll either slow it down or just completely stop it and reel down to them. Make sure I feel them either dump it really hard or pull, and once he starts to pull, then you can lean back into him.
Yeah, all I'm feeling is my bait stop when I'm getting a hook up. That was a hell of a set.
Missed him.
Is that a bite?
Yeah, it was. I've been out there a few times lately. The East Coast, where you're at, it's definitely getting some grass growing back in there too.
Oh man, it's beautiful.
That's one thing you gotta take into effect here, you know. Don't get me wrong, a 5 to 8 pound bass is gonna fight. They're strong, but you gotta take into effect of what you're actually fishing too.
Yeah.
You're fighting that fish and also fighting all this cover.
That's exactly what I think happened on that last one. Is I got him up to the edge of the grass and he got locked up in there and pulled off.
You're lying around these reeds.
Is that why bass fishermen you typically use heavy line?
Yeah, so like on my flipping stick here, I use 65 pound braid.
So I should probably rethink my 20 pound braid.
Yeah. Now with that worm, I'm throwing fluorocarbon with the worm, just because it helps keeps it down. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it might not look like it right now with this cover, but this water in here is actually pretty clean.
Yeah, so it keeps you don't see it so clear so much.
Yeah, so you get more strikes with that fluorocarbon.
I see a lot of guys that don't use leader either.
No, but you can if
I always use leader, just because I feel like you get a little less visibility.
Yeah, it would work the same way if you just tied a fluorocarbon or a mono leader to braid. I've definitely learned how to use fluorocarbon a lot more than braid over the past few years, just to get those few extra bites. Kind of like offshore fishing, you know, sometimes braid will just scare them.
Yeah, snapper are really picky. Everything else I don't really feel like it cares too much, especially if you're fishing like a weed line offshore. But I don't do a whole lot of offshore stuff.
Some of these guys will come in here and flip with fluorocarbon. If you do, you're flipping like 25 pound fluorocarbon. To me, I've never really seen the difference. When you're doing this, the bite's usually pretty quick as soon as you flip it in there.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the other.
It's a reaction.
The other trick at getting good flipping is feeling that bite, because they won't hang on to it.
No.
So you've got to be quick with them when you're doing this.
They realize pretty quick that they done messed up.
Now that worm, they'll sit there and they'll just hang on to that worm. But this here, it's when you feel one, you have to bust them.
And that's why those flipping rods usually have some serious backbone to them.
Yeah, so this is a 7.6 extra heavy. There's not a lot of parabolical bend in it.
You're fishing with a broomstick.
Yeah. Yep. Because when you set up on them, you want them hooked right then and there. You don't want to kind of give them any kind of flexibility.
Because they'll get you tangled up in everything.
It's just hard, like I said, you got to take an effect of like what you're actually catching them in.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get tangled around everything if they start running.
Yeah, and you don't want that fish fighting you. You
got to take control immediately.
That fish. But when you're throwing that worm and you're retrieving and you're trying to get them, you know, from a little far out, you kind of want to work them a little bit. Yeah, so two big things that take into effect, like out here, is one, your cloud cover or your sunlight, and then the water clarity itself. So this is super, like I said, super clean water in here. I usually on a sunny day will stay more like a green pumpkin or watermelon red, something more natural. And then on these cloudy days, I stay to like black and blue, June bug, your darker colors.
Make it contrast a little bit.
Yeah. Now, if this water was a little bit murky or dirty, that's where you start throwing stuff like your whites, your chartreuse.
Something where it really stands out.
And then you fish a lot slower.
That's the other thing I noticed about bass fishing, the hooks are way sharper.
They'll get you. But you see, this is kind of a bigger reed head here. I kind of like these more isolated stuff out here, but you don't check them, you never know.
Get him. Little guy. It's back on the worm again, right? Yeah.
Back on the worm.
And these are like schoolie size bass, right? So
yeah, nice feeding bass. Buck bass, we'll call them.
A little.
See, this one's been fighting a little bit. He's got a little sore on the side of him.
Oh, fighting with other bass?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, they do that?
But nice, healthy fish. I mean, they're chunks. They're not
thick.
skinny. So that's how you know they're eating. That's what they're doing. They're in here feeding. Now what you start paying attention to, because might take another moon phase or so.
Yeah.
But when they start to spawn, those smaller fish like that, they'll start peeing. And when they're peeing, that means they're getting ready to spawn.
Oh yeah.
So and then that's what you call like buck bass. They'll be in here protecting the beds, and your females will move up in here.
That's
your females are normally your bigger fish. What females do though, they come in, they come on the beds, and then they do their thing and they move off, so they don't stick around. But those buck bass, the males, they'll stick around and protect that bed and wait for another wave of females to come in.
I got a hit for sure. He thumped it, but let go. So when you get hit like that, you let it sit?
Yeah, let it sit or just slow it down. You want to reel down to them though and feel them before you set up.
I mean, that was a pretty solid hit. I got excited. And it's funny because you were saying hit the sparse areas, and I've been casting. What I'm trying to aim at is like where that one little reed is sitting out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of the time that's what they'll target. So a lot of times they'll get in these sticker patches and stuff like that if they're trying to hide or they're trying to stay cool. But right now they're just out here roaming around.
It's a comfortable day for them, so they're happy.
Yeah, and this is all, you got the out here is all eelgrass and dollar pads. All that bait swimming around in there. They're just sitting in the holes in there, like you said, just waiting for something to swim by and ambush.
Got him.
There you go.
Oh, he is running straight down in that grass too, isn't he? That's a decent fish.
Yep, nice and white.
Nose set, just like you were talking about. I usually mash my barbs down, but I didn't get a chance to. That was kind of cool.
All right, so for this part, guys, my mic just died, and there's not any sound on here. But if you watch the rest of this video, I appreciate you making it this far, and check out my acrobatics here. You can't teach the survival instincts. I have the TCFC Outdoors Fish Con Youth Fishing Clinic coming up January 31st. And there will be a lot of gear giveaways. It's for kids aged 6 to 16, and it'll be at JC Park in Fort Pierce, Florida, January 31st from 10 to 1 p.m. And look forward to seeing all you guys out there. So also, enjoy these last few large fish we caught for the day. As the day went on, we got closer to sunset, and the fish started getting bigger and biting more. And man, we just got into it. This is one of the best days bass fishing I've ever had. And I really appreciate Evan for taking me out with him and teaching me so much more about bass fishing. I get lucky from time to time and I catch decent bass, but I've never had a day where I've caught bass like this. This was awesome. And thank you, Evan, for getting me out on the boat and teaching me how to do it the right way. Also, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned to the end of the video. There's an epic fish, the last one I caught for the day, and definitely the biggest fish for the day. I told him I'd get lucky. But I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video.
Get him. Got him. He sounded like a big one. He got him. That's a good one too, huh? Oh yeah, it is. Get him! Oh, shit. That's a new personal best. And I got that one on camera. Look at that, guys. Oh.